So I learned about 6 meals a day when I want to lose body fat and want to gain muscle at the same time. I believe that time was if you eat 6 meals a day, because you're going to eat smaller meals, you will speed up the metabolism and you will feed the muscles or just feed your body when you need calories. And then excess will not be stored as fat. So even doing 6 meals a day, I found it too time consuming. I found it was painful to myself, and it was a problem socializing. It even got to the point when I went to work, I would have breakfast. When I drove for an hour to get to work, I would eat again. And then I would have a break, I would eat, I would have lunch, I would eat a meal. Another break, eat again. And then on the way home, maybe a small snack. And then dinner time, and then eating right before bed. The only skill I got out of it was just being prepared to have food ahead of time. But it was a huge price to pay because of the amount of time I spent to prepare for the food. It took me a long time to pack up 2-3 containers of food and the snacks I was planning to eat, and then eat them at certain times. Even my off days or days socializing with friends. If I knew I was going to be out for more than 3 hours, I would bring food with me. Or if I knew that there was a fast food around, I would get like a snack, a sandwich. Did I lose body fat over time? I did, but it had nothing to do with speeding up metabolism from frequent eating. It had more to do with controlling the calories at that time. It had more to do with smarter exercise choices. Is it possible to get fat again eating 6 smaller meals? It was for me, not just because I moved into a more inactive job, because the portions got naturally bigger because I wasn't getting full, and I thought I was bulking up, but I was putting on more fat. At the same time, I was messing up my own hormones with constant insulin spikes from eating carbs every meal, every snack. Did I lose weight with frequent eating of healthier foods? I did. It still had nothing to do with the frequent eating. It's just because the total calories at the end of the day was less. And because I was eating healthier, the hormonal profile was improving a bit. But what did I learn from frequent eating? It was very easy to get tired because of the constant insulin spikes and drops. Because of the insulin spikes, there were times I had really high blood pressure. There was one time I went to the blood clinic after work, and it wasn't even a stressful day. I didn't even work out. And I just had one simple pastry or even just an ice cream right before donating blood. And my blood pressure at the age of 24 was 160/80. Heart rate was close to 100. That's not healthy at all. Whether you're 24 or whether you're 6 years old. I can tell you guys some of my off days when I'm not going to work. So just days hang out with friends or family. Even hang out with friends in the middle of the day. I told my friend, let's go to fast food because I haven't had a meal in 3 hours. I'll go walk there and I'm going to get a burger because I'm not having dinner at home for another 3 hours. Or even going to a restaurant with friends and family. If it was a dinner plate, I can typically finish, but because I was controlling the portion or doing frequent eating, I actually saved about 1/3 of it, asked for a container, so I can eat it later that day. Even though I was able to finish it without being really stuffed. So the price to pay for eating frequently, it's easier to get fatter, especially if you eat all carbs. Because over time, you get used to eating so frequent, the portions get bigger. You will never have access to growth hormone in the middle of the day if you keep frequently eating. Insulin will be constantly spiked up, and you're more likely to store fat. So overall, you don't need to eat 6 times a day. You don't need to frequently eat. You can get by eating 3 meals a day. Even 4 is okay. If you find out that you eat a small dinner and then you want to eat some more for while you're watching a night movie or something. And the way I plan my meals is just have 2 high-fat, low-carb meals, breakfast and lunch. And then for dinner, just have whatever. That way, when you eat fats and low carbs, you stay full longer. But I make sure every meal has some protein. Not a huge chunk of it on a typical day, but just enough to rebuild the muscle, just enough to stay full. If your goal is to be a 300-pound strongman or a powerlifter, then there'll be a different opinion. Right now, my goal is just to be healthy and just to maintain about average body weight. I'm about 170, 175 pounds, and I'm 5'11".